So I noticed that the attendance has dropped a little bit, but doesn't matter. I am willing to take charge with the attitude of even if it just came down to one person, just me, I would still continue. Okay, so Shomei has raised her hand. Hi, yes, Shomei.
I think it really doesn't matter how many people. I personally am so grateful that the group exists for me to continue sitting early in the morning. So this morning when I logged in, right, I only saw three other sisters. Then after that, Sister Ling joined in. So it was really very nice. I mean, I'm really very grateful. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, Marcel, you did fine. I love the way you lead the puja. So, 加油.
Thanks for the support. Yeah. Okay. If nothing else, I think we can continue reading. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so yesterday we have finished the preface, which is pretty short, around 4 paragraphs. Now we are at introduction. So chapter 1, the way to the end of suffering. So I will start to read and then we will see if there's any comments, then the next person can read. Chapter 1, the way to the end of suffering. The search for a spiritual path is born out of suffering. It does not start with lights and ecstasy, but with hard text of pain, disappointment, and confusion. However, for suffering to give birth to a genuine spiritual search, it must amount to more than something passively received from without. It has to trigger an inner realization, a perception which pierces through the facile complacency of our usual encounter with the world to glimpse the insecurity perpetually gaping underfoot. When this insight dawns, even if only momentarily, it can precipitate a profound personal crisis. It overturns accustomed goals and values, mocks our routine preoccupations, leaves old enjoyments stubbornly unsatisfying. Okay. So one thing about reading Bhikkhu Bodhi's text, you really have to prepare a dictionary. Because some of the words is like, because he took a PhD in philosophy before he ordained, so his words are really precise. Yeah, so that's why he used all these words. Yeah, so for example, this one, facile or facile. Yeah. So facile, from what I checked, means superficial. Yeah. And then, yeah, I really like how he words it, this one, perpetually gaping underfoot, It's like really underlying everyday, our day-to-day life, like there is some kind of sense of insatisfaction that always haunt us. Yeah. And then, yeah, all our usual worldly enjoyments suddenly, becomes unsatisfying. Yeah. So any comments or questions? What do you think about this paragraph? Can you relate? Do you come to Buddhism with like very happily, or were you also like mentioned here, born out of suffering, and then you look for something to help you solve. For me, this is the case. I was really suffering, and I was trying to find solution. I think Buddhism really helps me to get out of my suffering at that point or at that time. So anyone would like to share their experience? If not, maybe I arrow someone to speak. Okay, how about Lin Toi?
Okay, why do you want me to speak now? Okay, so for me, coming to Buddhism is a little bit different. The thing is, I always have suffering, but I didn't know. I didn't realize it. So when I suffered, it's like I blame myself a lot. And of course, I blame the external factors until I got to know Buddhism. Then I found out that everything comes from inside, but I never realized that. Learning Buddhism, you know, like especially this paragraph, the last line is, it means so much to me. It's like, it's always there, but we just don't realize it. So not only until we can see the suffering from the inside, then we realize that it is always there, and we have to find a way to at least reduce it or learn to live with it. Yeah, that's how I understand this paragraph. I find it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else would like to share? Show me. Okay. You're muted. Sorry.
Okay. A long time, well, in 2014, I took the plunge. Okay, I'm not the sort who can go for long retreats. So I only started in about 2013 for short retreats. And in 2014, I went for a long retreat, 21-day retreat in Plum Village. For those of you are familiar, that's founded by Thich Nhat Hanh. And then, you know, the group in the 21-day retreat, we're talking about thousands, okay? And of course, they have to break into small Dharma families where you do Dharma sharing every day. And so people take turns to speak and so forth. And I realized because the Angmos are more open, they are more willing to share, they really articulate their sufferings a lot. Then I was hearing their stories from abuses, you know, sexual abuses to all kinds of suffering. And I say, my goodness, how come these people suffer so much? And I said, and I think I said too soon, how come I don't experience similar suffering? So what I didn't know was, of course, I didn't know suffering as the way it is now. And soon after that, with very regular practice and so forth, wow, then one wave after another, a lot of things started happening and so forth. And now this morning, when I read that one line about, you know, when insight dawns, you know, how it comes forth, right? I truly appreciate that, that the insight must come, otherwise you're just suffering without knowing what's happening. It's just very, very superficial. You just blindly encounter it without knowing how to support yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Shomi. So do you know if they do singing meditation in the retreat?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I was told about it by Lin Toi. Yeah, so Lin Toi is very familiar with the Plum Village retreat. Maybe the two of you can join together, or maybe all of us can join together.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So I will continue first, or the next person. So who would like to volunteer to read the next paragraph? Okay, no hands. Maybe How about Venice?
Okay, let me try.
Give me, okay, yeah, this one. I haven't said me, sorry. Okay, this paragraph.
Okay, correct me if I'm speaking incorrectly. Okay, at first, such changes generally are not welcome. We try to deny our vision and to smother our doubts. We struggle to drive away the discontent with new pursuits. But the flame of inquiry, once lit, continue to burn, and we do not let ourselves be swept away by superficial readjustments or sludge back into a patched-up version of our natural optimism. Eventually, the original glimmering of insight will again flare up, again confront us with our essential pride. It is precisely at that point, with all escape routes blocked, that we are ready to seek a way to bring our disquietude to an end. No longer can we continue to drift complacently through life, driven blindly by our hunger for sense pleasures and by pressure of prevailing social norms. A deeper reality beckons us. We have heard the call of a more stable, more authentic happiness, and until we arrive at our destination, we cannot rest content.
Thanks for reading.
Yeah.
And what do you think about it, Venice?
Yeah, it's true because all of us will have suffering. Maybe those who didn't realize is because they don't want to admit that is the suffering. So, but after learning Buddha, after learning the Dharma, I started to realize more. All these sufferings, it really comes continuously. it doesn't stop. It comes and it happens every day. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it really makes us struggle, especially if those things happens around us, like our families, our children. We feel really helpless sometimes. Yeah, feel very helpless. But once we know that all these are impermanence, then we will know how to adjust ourselves. Yeah, then maybe our suffering can reduce. This is what I think. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing. What I like the most here, I think, is the last line. A deeper reality beckons us. We want the call for a more stable, more authentic happiness. And I've heard this from many people when they try the worldly life, the worldly happiness, going party, have friends, find girls, drinks, In the end, most of them told me the same thing. They feel empty inside. They feel empty. There is some kind of a dissatisfaction, even though they are really enjoying themselves. Yeah. So this one I feel is pretty relatable. Okay, and that's for me. Anyone else would like to share anything for this paragraph? Okay, if not, then Venice can choose the next person to read.
Okay, Tammy, would you?
You're muted, sorry.
But it is just then that we find ourselves facing a new difficulty. Once we come to recognize the need for spiritual path, we discover that spiritual teachings are by no means homogeneous and mutually compatible. When we browse through the shelves of humanity's spiritual heritage, both ancient and contemporary, we do not find a single tidy volume, but a veritable bazaar of spiritual systems and disciplines, each offering themselves to us as the highest, the fastest, the most powerful, or the most profound solutions to our quest for the ultimate. Confronted with this millage, we fall into confusions trying to size them up to decide which is truly liberative, a real solution to our needs, and which is sidetracked, best set with hidden flaws.
Okay, thanks for reading.
Thank you.
So this one, veritable bazaar. Do you know what it means? Seems like it means that there is a lot of choices. You know, not only Buddhism, but there are Christians, Islam. But let me double check the definition. Yeah. So veritable is for emphasis, to qualify a metaphor. So bazaar is like an event where you can choose, right? Okay, how about melange? Do you know what it means? So let me search. Mixture, medley. Okay. Yeah, it's like confronted with a lot of choices, then how do we know which one to choose, right? Yeah, so why do we choose Buddhism over others? This is a little bit sensitive, so but anyone would like to share? Okay, maybe I share mine. I mean, I don't really explore deeply the neighbors, but from my own experience, I think Buddhism makes the most sense, and whatever the teachings inside are relatable and help me to progress, to make me a better person. Yeah, that's one reason. The other reason is that the neighbor religion is just, yeah, it's just something that I cannot really make sense of. Yeah, that's about it for me. And to think about it, Buddhism actually is so, we probably shouldn't even call it a religion, because it's just feels like a philosophical system or a psychological system who helps you to make you a better person, and in the end becomes a happier person. Yeah. Okay. Anyone would like to comment anything on this part? If not, then Tammy can choose the next person. I think we read one more paragraph and then we can wrap up.
Maybe Choi Kwan?
Chai Kon. Okay, Chai Kon, you have been nominated. This paragraph.
One approach to resolving this problem that is popular today is the eclectic one, to pick and choose from the various traditions whatever seems amenable to our needs, welding together different practices and techniques into a synthetic whole that is personally satisfying. Thus, one may combine Buddhist mindfulness meditation with sessions of Hindu mantra recitation, Christian prayer with Sufi dancing, Jewish Kabbalah with Tibetan visualization exercises. Eclecticism, however, though sometimes helpful in making a transition from a predominantly worldly and materialistic way of life to one that takes on a spiritual hue, eventually wears thin. While it makes a comfortable halfway house, it is not comfortable as a final vehicle.
Sadhu, sadhu. Yes, so this is probably what some people do. They combine component from this religion and then from this religion, and then they try it together. Yeah, it will explain further below the text, but essentially, after one tries this way, it will just contradict themselves. Yeah, the components really doesn't match each other. Yeah, but it will explain further when we read tomorrow. So, any comments before we wrap up? Okay, if not, then we can wrap up with the dedication. You all can recite together with me. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。So, till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Okay, do you guys want any message? Have a normal Sunday ahead.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Marcel. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thanks, Marcel.
Tomorrow.